Rome. It's Saturday, the 11th of January. Daily reading. Not really daily, because I don't do readings every day, but yeah, kind of daily in a way. Daily-ish. Shuffling my new deck, which I'm enjoying. Ooh, Knight of Wands, Nine of Wands. Knight of Wands, fast energy, burns out quick, no endurance. Nine of Wands. Defensiveness, isn't it? Nine of Wands. When I watched my last video back, I realized that these cards, they're quite dark, so you can't really see them. Don't know if you can see that. He's like in a forest. There's actually lots of flowers all over the place. He's got his wand, he's kind of digging it in the ground. But his defense here is almost magical. It has like a magical quality to it. Um, and as I said before, if we had the 10, we'd see like a continuous sort of montage here. Not montage. What's the word? What's the word? No, montage. That's what I was thinking of. I was going to say, what's that word for what Rocky does in the Rocky films, where does this training montage, but it's montage. Yeah, thinking of that. It looks like you're blocking out something because you haven't got enough energy to endure, maybe. I'm going to take Knight of Wands as the sorry, I'm just putting the volume down on my phone because it doesn't matter. Um, Not a very energetic last few days, I have to say. Mars retrograding through Cancer isn't really helping anything, to be honest. Not helping with the emotions, that's for sure. Knight of Wands. Looks like he's kind of getting wrapped up in some kind of etheric force that's kind of circulating around him. He doesn't look in control, and the Knight of Wands isn't really in control. The Knight of Wands is kind of, if you look at the Crowley deck, the Thoth deck, or Toth, which is how you're supposed to pronounce it, I believe, but Thoth always sounds better to me. If you look at Crowley's Knight of Wands, he's on a horse and he's basically getting like it looks like he's on a rocket. So he's basically completely out of control. And the reason is because he's applying too much force to a situation. So given that this is representing you, for the Five of Pentacles, Eight of Cups, hmm, lots of emotions, Page of Cups, and the King of Cups. Hmm. And again, we have got a Page and a King of Cups, so you can see the 2 out of 3, and this what would be a montage. Page, obviously. So he's got this cup, I guess, and then some energy is kind of spewing forth from it, and then it kind of looks like it reaches the king eventually after spiraling through. So it looks like the queen card would be up here maybe. It's kind of, you can see the energy vortex kind of. Okay, bit of a slow day, sorry. The point is with all these cups, we've got the Five of Pentacles, which is like a feeling of abandonment, and the Eight of Cups, which is you abandoning someone else. Not someone else, but something else. So there's some abandonment going on. The Nine of Wands is being defensive. I'm getting like a carryover from the story from the other day, which is emotional turmoil from, not turmoil, but kind of like depression, if you like, maybe. Grief. It's grief. Thank you. It's grief. Yeah. Because it's all about loss, isn't it? It's about loss of a situation, loss of a person, having to leave a situation. It's grief, grieving for what is lost. So you may find that you've been grieving for what is lost, which isn't really a process that kind of has any conclusion, really. It's just a process that happens, in my experience. Nine of Wands, Knight of Wands. Okay, what's crossing? What's underneath? What's on top? What's to the left? What's to the right? Wheel of Fortune is crossing a Nine of Wands. Hmm. Which is the present situation, though? I'm going to say the Nine of Wands is the present situation. Okay. And the Wheel of Fortune is like a bird fighting with a snake and a peacock. Oh, wow. Oh, no, a peacock fighting a snake. And then there's another snake. The Wheel of Fortune is a reminder that everything changes. You may very well know this already. It's always good to be reminded that this too shall pass. Which comes from that story, doesn't it, of the king who he asks, I think one of his advisors, who's supposedly a wise man, he like gives him this task basically, which is to give him an object that, or craft for him an object that when he is sad will make him happy, and when he's happy will make him sad. And so I'm probably butchering the story, but the punchline is that the advisor comes back to him and he gives him a ring, and engraved on the inside of the ring is the saying, or are the words, "This too shall pass." Point of the story being that everything changes. So even this sense of being out of control with regards to your emotions and therefore putting up defenses against others will change. Even my interpretation of those two cards just changed. Everything changes eventually. Ace of Pentacles underneath, Seven of Swords trying to get away with something. Two of Swords confused and in two minds about something, and then Death. Seven of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. Too many options or no good options. Anxiety about not having any decent options. But then you have the Seven of Pentacles, which looks like he has lots of options. But the options aren't now. He's planting the options for later. So no good options. You didn't have any good options, or this comes from a situation where you've not had any options, or you might feel like you haven't had not any options, but any good options. Because the Seven of Cups is lots of options, but none of them are really good. That's my interpretation of it. Ace of Wands means is like a progression of the Seven of Pentacles. Did I just say Ace of Wands? Ace of Pentacles. And it's a door opening. You have an opportunity. The opportunity is something that you've created, but it feels like either you have to be secretive about it, or you don't want others to find out about it, or you're not feeling like 100% about it. There's something under the surface, I'm going to say. Something under the surface which, what is it? What is the emotion? I know it's the sword, so it's about the mind, but there is an emotion there. It's kind of like shame. Is there something you feel ashamed about and you have to hide? You have to hide a part of yourself, but it's an opportunity at the same time. Let's say you've met someone and you're in two minds about it because of the Two of Swords. And you're feeling because you're in two minds and you're not fully aligned with it, that you like, you kind of need to keep it to yourself in a way, or you're not kind of ready to go out and share it with the world. But this is a process that's transforming, like the Wheel of Fortune. Everything is always transforming. Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands. What's the Eight of Wands? Eight of Wands is communication. The Star and the Moon. What? What is that? And the Hermit. Oh my God. Three trumps in a row. Dare I pull a fourth? Ten of Swords. Shit. Ten of Swords on the Eight of Wands. Communication. Did you receive communication in the past? Were people communicating with you in a way in the past which you felt like a betrayal? The moon is the difficult emotions associated to some experience from the past. Uh, I'm going to keep the Ten of Swords out. You withdrew into the Hermit. You withdrew into the Hermit and you decided to stay and wait for things to change. The star says you did some healing. The moon says the feelings ran deep. And that this may have been a very emotionally turbulent time and a difficult situation to come out of. So something happened in the past which gave rise to the way you respond to things now. Yes, what else? The star, the moon, and the hermit is an interesting combination, isn't it? The star, there's a Seven of Swords again, look. Having to hide yourself from others. The feeling that you have to hide yourself from others. If you feel things very deeply, that's something that can tend to be hidden from others. If you have trauma, then you have a tendency to hide. You may have a tendency to hide. There was some trauma that happened early on that you had to hide somehow. May feel difficult to communicate with people, and communication may result in problems, let's say. Let's leave it at that. The moon, the hermit again, and the star gives the Page of Pentacles, the hermit, and the King of Swords. Why is the Page of Pentacles there? Because somebody's giving you an offer. Somebody in the past offered you something. But then why did it create these problems in communication and then causing you to have to go very deeply inside, have to withdraw and process all of this in a healing process? What does the Page of Pentacles have to do with it? Two of Cups, Four of Swords, Three of Swords. Somebody younger. Page of Pentacles is someone creative, but definitely someone younger. Maybe you were with somebody younger in a relationship. Um, you had to withdraw from it, and that was a process that was very painful. And so, through withdrawing and healing yourself and spending time alone, you were able to come to a state of balance, mental, psychological balance. But as we know, emotional balance can be more difficult to achieve than psychological balance in a way. Like you can kind of get things right in your head, but the emotions can sometimes take a while to catch up. So in your environment, you're not too impressed with something or anything at the moment. You're a bit sort of meh, can't be bothered, nothing's really good enough. Strengthen the Hanged Man. Jesus, what is with all the Trumps? And this Hanged Man is like in the water, and it looks like there's piranhas about to eat him. Wow, that's quite a dark Hanged Man. So you may feel like you're in a waiting game, waiting for something to be presented to you in your world, which gives you some enthusiasm. You know, you're lacking enthusiasm, I feel, in the present environment. Things that are on display or on offer, if you like, in the shop window of your reality, the shop window of your life, are, yeah, they're not the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles. You know, nothing really seems long term. And it's keeping you kind of having to stay like independent, but the Tower is there, and the Knight of Wands. Something about somebody coming in that blows your not your independence out of the water, but maybe it blows your single life out of the water. High priestess in the world. Okay. This is a very like fated process for you to go through. So basically you don't have a lot of control over this process, okay? This is something that's just going to happen with the Wheel of Fortune and the Death and the Hanged Man and the Tower and all of this stuff is just like it's just happening, isn't it? You know? Yeah, not a lot of control to be had in this situation, but what you can do is keep yourself balanced and manage your affairs. Manage your affairs. Manage your affairs. And we've got the devil here. Oh, and the devil again. Look at that. Two devils. Double devil. Um, why double? The devil clarifying the devil. Interesting. Yeah, attachments. It's like there's two things that you can become attached to, or maybe more than two. This Knight of Wands. Just be careful, the devil, with the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands came up at the first, isn't it? Knight of Wands. Someone flighty. Oh, it could be you, the Knight of Wands, the Hanged Man again. Or it could be somebody else who's not very committed, messing with your energy somehow. Um, Make sure you're getting as much out of this as you're giving. If it seems too much and there's conflict, you need to just let it go and take a walk. Nine of Pentacles. Let it go and take a walk. Ooh. And be independent. Be single and free. If there seems like there's judgment, Nine of Cups. If it seems like judgment. Judgment is about starting again, isn't it? Hmm. Maybe you need this process so that you can start again, so that you can ultimately get what you want. I mean, the devil's always the same, isn't it? Sometimes you just need to go through the process of attachment and addiction before you can come out the other side and kind of be rid of it and be ready to do something else. If you're feeling pressure to do something, just don't. Devil, the Queen of Wands, independent. So the way out of the devil is to just do your own thing. Do your own thing. Seven of Wands. Fight your battle alone. Three of Wands. Sometimes you have to go it alone. Don't know why I'm getting that. There's lots of Knights of Wands running around. Okay, let's go from the top. You may feel out of control at the moment with regard to emotions that have come up in the past. It might be causing you to feel defensive towards a particular person or people or a particular part of your world at the moment. Maybe it's defensive about a thing you do, a hobby you do, or, maybe like you're feeling like you don't want to do it right now. This is okay, everything changes. But relating to this situation, objectively, what you have there is good. You have an opportunity, and you have, like not just an opportunity, but you have a whole kind of area or domain of like opportunities in your life. And it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away because it's right for you to have these opportunities. However, there is a sense that you're having to hide parts of yourself because of a lack of certainty or internal alignment within this process because it's a process that is transforming you. It's a process that's been going on for some time, related to a situation in the past where there'd been communication problems, um, challenging emotions, where you'd had to step away to heal a love situation, possibly with somebody younger than you, or somebody who's quite creative, somebody artistic, or somebody, yeah, just a generally creative and kind of like enthusiastic. However, you needed to rest and you needed to withdraw from a painful experience with this person. You needed to go inward so that you could find mental clarity and peace. Um, and this is what's brought you to your current um, sort of like state of mind. A state of mind which is in the process of evolving, like everything, in the process of changing, where you are not particularly impressed with any of the options that are currently being presented to you. It's requiring strength, but the strength is available to you. It's requiring you to wait and to see what happens. And there may be a sense of sacrifice, of which I don't want to go into too much because it could be a whole other story. You're finding that the things that are on offer maybe don't have much longevity to them, although there is the possibility to enjoy them in the present time. Um, things coming in, people coming in, opportunities coming in the future may be fairly short-lived with the Knight of Wands, and they could cause an upset to your kind of established single life in some way. And this is related to these experiences that you've had in the past, and your unconscious as well. The things that arise from the unconscious, the deep well of memories and experiences that we hold. But this could have an effect on your unconscious, and it may be an unexpected effect, which could cause which could cause the collapse of something. Hmm. So whether it's a worldview or whether it's just a feeling of being defeated, or it could cause a collapse of maybe your preconceptions about how you're seeing yourself and your current situation. Ultimately, you are in a process of self-enlightenment. Um, but there is a potential for addiction and toxicity and attachment present. But this is all fine. This is all okay. Um, Just be mindful of the situation and whether or not you're receiving as much as you're giving, whether there is actual emotions at play, or whether you're getting an offer that doesn't really have much substance. Um, you'll still retain your independence as just an independent spirit that's capable of dealing with the world, but at times it may be a battle to overcome this sense of disappointment or lack of enthusiasm about what is currently going on. But uh, ultimately, everything changes with the Wheel of Fortune, and you're on your path. You're being led very much by fate and the design. Led by fate and the design. That would be a good tattoo, wouldn't it? Led by fate and the design. Um, and yes, this is the end of a process with the world, finally. It's the end of a process, and as we know, once when one process ends, another begins. So with that, we'll have the end of the process and the end of the reading. Hope this was useful and helpful, and see you next time.